Somebody said if you don't like playing with LeBron, you wouldn't like playing with Kobe. Bro, you guys got to stop these narratives, man. It's not that I didn't like playing with Bron, you guys. And, I don't want to go into detail about it. Some of y'all comments just be so asinine. Bro, like when I was in Cleveland and I was a young player, I had no idea Bron was going to come back.
Kyrie Irving just cracked the silence wide open, and the whole basketball world is spinning like crazy when he said, "When I'm done playing, you guys will hear the real story. Trust me." He wasn't taking shots. He was sending a warning with a smile. He was promising a reveal that could flip LeBron's whole image upside down, and that alone had fans shaking. This is the same dude who hit the clutch shot that kept LeBron's legacy shining, and now he's hinting hard that he might rewrite the truth behind everything. Kyrie didn't slip up or mumble it. He said it clean, live on stream, staring straight into the camera like he was ready to shake the entire NBA timeline with one move. He basically told everyone that what people believe about playing next to LeBron is polished, edited, and controlled behind the scenes, and that the real story is hidden in private talks, closed-door moments, and off-camera power plays. This is the kind of pressure that turns into a documentary years later, the type of story that makes fans go wild. The reaction? Straight mayhem. LeBron supporters jumped into his comments fast, trying to shut him down, questioning him, challenging him, and doing everything they could to stop the spark from turning into a full blaze. Folks were scrambling like their reputations were on the line, trying to guard LeBron's image like it was their paycheck. But Kyrie? He didn't flinch for a second. He stood tall, calm, and ready, looking like he's finally prepared to drop the truth he's been carrying for years. Make sure you hit subscribe because what's coming next could shake the biggest duo of the modern NBA straight to its core.
The reason why I say I would have loved to play with Kobe, because I would have loved to have started my career with, I love Cleveland, don't get me wrong. I'm appreciative of all the things that they've done for me, but at the same time, I would have loved to choose the franchise I wanted to go to. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to develop next to some of my favorite players and some of my favorite people.
The deeper you slide into Kyrie's side of the story, the messier this whole partnership starts to look. Let's get into the part nobody ever wants to say out loud. Kyrie once admitted he actually wanted to pick his own franchise when he got drafted, which is wild because that means the #1 pick in 2011 never wanted Cleveland from day one. He wanted a squad he connected with, players he admired, hoopers he vibed with, not a rebuilding team still dealing with the chaos left behind after LeBron dipped the first time. Kyrie even said he picked up bad habits during those early losing years, habits he didn't want at all. Playing hero ball just to keep the squad alive, forcing shots because the roster wasn't built to win. He said he was finally cleaning all that up, learning how to run a team the right way, getting ready to step up and become a real floor general. And then boom, LeBron came back. Storyline flipped, growth interrupted, his whole path changed in one heartbeat. That single moment set the tone for everything that came after. Every argument, every rumor, every silent stare people still talk about today. Now picture this timing for a second. LeBron returns in 2014, right when Kyrie is entering year 4, the exact stage when a young guard usually jumps into full superstar mode. That window is where players break out, and that's when Kyrie's whole world got rewritten. Instead of taking over the whole franchise, Kyrie suddenly gets pushed into a supporting role on a team that instantly becomes LeBron's full production. That switch hits different when you're finally finding your rhythm and starting to feel like the game is slowing down for you. Kyrie even dropped a line most people completely missed. When you're playing with somebody like LeBron, it's a different animal. It's a different journey. That wasn't praise. That was a warning signal. Because being on LeBron's squad doesn't just raise expectations, it bends them into something else. You're expected to dominate, not because you built that status brick by brick, but because you're sitting in the passenger seat next to the biggest spotlight in basketball. And that's where things start getting real complicated.
When you guys make it about one player, it is kind of just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just one player that you have to promote. Like, we had like solid players on our team. when you're playing with somebody like Bron or somebody that you guys like to compare him to, it's a different animal. It's a different journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're automatically expected to be at the top of the charts, the top of the league. You know, every time you play with Bron, it's going to be a lot of media attention. It's going to be a lot of back and forth of narratives. It's going to be about a lot of spun narratives. It's going to be a lot of politics. It's going to be a lot of shit that a lot of people don't see in front of the camera. And for me, I was just a young person trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's not that I dislike playing with Bron at any time.
LeBron didn't come back to Cleveland just to play out a sweet hometown comeback story. He needed Kyrie's skill set to rebuild the next chapter of his legacy after the Miami run. The issue? Kyrie's personal growth got pushed to the side, and nobody truly understood how deep that cut went. Make sure you subscribe, because from here the story gets even darker and the details start hitting harder. Now let's step into the Pat Riley factor, the piece that flips this entire narrative upside down. Kyrie spoke about the bad habits he developed during those early Cleveland losing seasons. But then he hinted at something way bigger that changes how people see LeBron completely. He brought up the huge difference between Miami LeBron and Cleveland LeBron, and that comparison is rough to hear. Think back to LeBron's first Cleveland run. Dancing on the sidelines, having fun, loose energy everywhere. That version fully disappeared by the time Kyrie met him. Back then, LeBron had wild reactions, shaky composure, and emotional moments spilling everywhere. He was crazy talented, no doubt, but he didn't have that polished, steady presence people expect from a superstar carrying a whole franchise. And then everything changed. Pat Riley's system rewired him. Discipline, accountability, consistency, the whole package. LeBron learned how to prepare the right way, how to lock in, how to handle pressure without letting his emotions take over. That Miami version of him was the most controlled we ever saw, built inside a structure that demanded professionalism every single night. No more chaos, no more slipping out of focus, just locked-in performance. In Miami, LeBron's leadership felt earned, solid, and grounded, but Kyrie just pulled the curtain back on something people were never ready to hear.
Only wanted to see him be an MVP of our league. I only cared about his success, and it just didn't align. Yeah. It just didn't align, and we was able to win a championship. Yeah. That's the craziest thing. We were still able to win a championship, and we could never align.
When LeBron came back to Cleveland, he didn't only bring the discipline and focus he picked up from Pat Riley, he brought the politics too. The quiet control, the behind-the-scenes influence, the narrative shaping that fans never notice. Kyrie basically said that playing with LeBron meant dealing with stories getting flipped, details being twisted, and things happening off camera that the public never gets to see. That's a heavy statement because it suggests LeBron didn't just evolve as a leader in Miami, he learned how to manage the full image around his career. And when he returned to Cleveland, he used that same approach, not just with the media, but even with his own teammates. That adds a whole new layer to how people look back at that era. Pat Riley rebuilt LeBron's professionalism, no question, but Kyrie is practically telling everyone that LeBron took those lessons and turned them into a tool, becoming way more than just a player. He became the guy shaping the entire environment around him, and most folks never even noticed. He became a full-on brand, controlling every angle of the spotlight, and what happened next shows exactly how cold that system could really be. So let's talk about the moment the world somehow let slip from memory. June 19, 2016, Game 7 of the Finals. Kyrie, just 24 years old, steps back and drops that legendary three with 53 seconds left. That shot didn't just hit, it shook the whole arena. It snapped the Cleveland curse in real time and stamped itself as one of the coldest clutch moments in basketball history. But here comes the part Kyrie revealed that had fans heated. He hits the biggest shot of his life, saves the season, shifts LeBron's legacy conversation forever. Then he turns on the TV and all he hears on replay is blocked by James over and over and over. No Irving for three, no celebration of the dagger, just the block on a non-stop loop like Kyrie's shot was some tiny detail in the background. That kind of erasing sticks with a player, especially when you know what you delivered. And then came the moment that hit Kyrie like a slap to the face. LeBron going on TV saying, "That one right there made me the greatest player of all time." Like, what? Your teammate nails the championship-winning shot, the moment every Cleveland fan waited their entire life for, and the takeaway becomes your personal legacy boost? That's wild. Kyrie averaged 27 a night in that series. He was the second-best player on the court the entire finals, and he delivered the exact play that sealed the deal.
You know, I'm playing like so fucking happy and so proud and to watch him and continue his growth or whatever the case may be. And at the same time, I'm so fucking mad at the same time that I am not his running mate anymore.
But somehow, the whole story got flipped into LeBron's redemption arc. LeBron's homecoming, LeBron's destiny. Kyrie basically disappeared from his own achievement like he never carried half the weight. And this right here is when you finally understand what Kyrie meant about fake narratives and hidden politics. Because this didn't feel like regular media bias. It felt crafted, shaped, engineered, like a whole machine running exactly how it was designed to run. The spotlight slid right back to LeBron without hesitation, and Kyrie turned into a background character in a story he helped write with his own hands. But here's the coldest part. Right after Kyrie saved LeBron's career on the biggest stage, things behind the scenes turned even more ruthless. One minute he's the hero, the next minute he's treated like a trade piece waiting to be moved. Jump to the 2017 finals. Kyrie is dropping 29 a game, carrying a crazy amount of weight, while Kevin Durant is out there dominating every matchup in front of him. And the talk around the league? It was wild. People were out here saying KD handled LeBron so easily that it looked like he was treating him like a good boy. Kyrie didn't make that up. That's literally how the streets put it. KD was in full control the entire series. Yet somehow, even with LeBron getting outplayed, and even with Kyrie being the only Cavalier matching KD bucket for bucket, all the heat for losing got placed everywhere except on LeBron. Kyrie took hits he never deserved, and the narrative machine protected LeBron like he was wrapped in steel armor. Then, not even a month after the finals, the wildest plot twist smacked Kyrie in the face. The guy who delivered the shot that kept LeBron's legacy alive suddenly ends up in trade rumors, out of nowhere. And this is exactly where Kyrie's talk about hidden politics starts sounding way too real, because LeBron's circle was already whispering about moving on from him, acting like he was the problem, acting like the championship win didn't have Kyrie's fingerprints stamped all over it. It felt like the minute Kyrie stopped fitting the storyline, the machine flipped the script on him instantly, and the whole thing started looking way colder than anyone expected. Fans started acting like they were real GMs overnight, cooking up wild fake trades for Kyrie like he wasn't an all-star guard who helped deliver Cleveland its first championship in history. The disrespect was loud, constant, and honestly unbelievable. Kyrie finally hit his breaking point and demanded a trade, and that's when the real smear campaign came flying in. Suddenly, people were calling him jealous of LeBron, saying he wasn't built to lead, questioning his basketball IQ, and acting like he could only win if LeBron was right there holding his hand. But here's the truth nobody ever wants to admit. Kyrie became the only star who actually took control of his own path while playing next to LeBron. Every other big name either joined LeBron strictly on his terms or quietly got pushed out when their moment passed. Think about it for a second. Love, Bosh, Wade. Later in their careers, none of them stepped away on their own timing. Kyrie was the first one to say, "I'm gone," and actually follow through with it, and LeBron's fan base never forgave him for that. His exit exposed something people didn't want to face about the LeBron ecosystem. It's built so everyone around him stays replaceable, as long as the star stays protected. Kyrie walking away broke that whole illusion, and what happened next showed how far that machine could go when somebody decides they won't play along. The character takedown was ruthless. What certain fans did to Kyrie after he left Cleveland could honestly be studied in a psychology class. This wasn't normal fan trash talk. It felt organized, loud, almost like a wave hitting him on every platform at the same time. They went after anything they could reach. His leadership in Boston when the younger players didn't click with him, his confidence, his maturity, even the way he tried to guide the team. They twisted every moment into some new narrative just to drag him down. Kyrie wasn't dealing with simple criticism anymore. He was dealing with a full crew of people rewriting his entire reputation just because he didn't fit the storyline they wanted him to stay in. His injuries got twisted into jokes, like he was choosing to sit out on purpose. Even his personality became a target, with people calling him weird or difficult just to drag his name through the dirt. It was like the second Kyrie walked away, folks stopped talking about actual basketball and started trying to erase everything he ever accomplished. They flipped every normal basketball struggle into proof that Kyrie couldn't shine without LeBron. Every missed game, every rough stretch, every moment of frustration suddenly got turned into some big confirmation of a story fans made up in their heads. But things hit their breaking point during the pandemic. That's when the reactions around Kyrie went completely off the rails. People came after him with a level of anger that didn't even feel connected to the sport anymore. He chose not to take the COVID vaccine and instantly became one of the most targeted players in the entire league. Folks were calling him selfish, irresponsible, throwing every kind of insult they could think of, and some people even wanted him banned from competing. It got intense fast, way faster than anyone expected. And the wildest part, a lot of that rage had nothing to do with the situation itself. It was people acting like Kyrie's personal choice was some kind of attack on their favorite star's legacy. That kind of obsession is unreal, and honestly a little scary when you look back at it now. But as time passed, everything around the conversation started changing. Public health approaches shifted, league rules evolved, and suddenly all that extreme outrage from back then started looking way more exaggerated than people want to admit now. And Kyrie's take on the bubble, calling it something players would eventually forget, ended up being pretty accurate, because nobody brings that era up anymore unless it's for trivia or random debates. But here's the part that really exposes the whole system Kyrie was hinting at. While every corner of the internet was tearing him apart, where was LeBron? Where was the so-called brotherhood everyone loves to romanticize? No defending Kyrie, no public support, no "we got you," nothing at all. Just complete silence while his fan army handled all the attacks for him. Kyrie was standing alone, taking fire from every direction, and the guy he once helped win a championship didn't say a single word. That silence hit louder than any headline, and it showed exactly how the machine works when someone steps outside the storyline they're expected to follow. That's exactly the behind-the-scenes politics Kyrie was talking about. LeBron never needs to say anything himself. His fan base runs the whole play for him while he stays completely out of the mess. But look at Kyrie now. The comeback story he's writing might be the strongest chapter of his entire career. He's a champion in Dallas, a respected veteran, and playing some of the cleanest, most efficient basketball he's ever produced right next to Luka. And more than all of that, you can tell he finally found real peace. Not the media-made kind, but the real "I know who I am now" type of peace that hits different. And here's the wildest sign of how far he's come. Luka ended up getting traded before Kyrie did. Let that sink in for a second. The same guy critics swore was impossible to build around, too unpredictable, too out there to be a foundation piece, outlasted a generational talent in Dallas because he became steady, dependable, and fully locked in. Behind the scenes, Kyrie turned himself into one of the most trusted vets in the locker room, and that right there tells the whole story of his growth. Even after Luka got moved to the Lakers, Kyrie didn't flinch. His confidence stayed solid, calm, and unshaken. But here's the part that has LeBron fans sweating right now. Kyrie wasn't done talking on that stream, not even close. He dropped a promise with a tone that made everyone sit up straight. "When I'm done playing, you guys will hear the real story. Trust me." And he said it like a man who's been carrying years of weight on his shoulders, finally ready to release everything he's kept to himself. This wasn't some casual rant or heat-of-the-moment line. This was a calculated message from someone who lived through the pressure, the spin, the whispers, and the narratives that got built around him without him ever getting to speak. Kyrie watched the media reshape the Cleveland era into something that barely included him, even though he was right there delivering when it mattered most. He watched people tear down his character for leaving, watched fans twist every moment of his career into another boost for LeBron's highlight reel, and stayed quiet through years of noise that never told his side at all. Now he's older, wiser, and ready. And when he finally tells that real story, a lot of people will be hearing it with shaking hands. Now Kyrie's saying he'll talk once he's free from contracts, locker room politics, and all the league noise. And that's not a tease. That's a full warning. Then he dropped another line that sliced deep. No one could ever live in the shoes. No one could ever have anything legitimate to say about what they would have done in my position. That wasn't frustration talking. That was a man who's seen things the public never gets to hear. Someone who knows details that could flip the whole narrative upside down. And the way he said it, with that sharp, fearless energy, you could tell he's not planning to stay quiet much longer. The real question now isn't if Kyrie will talk. It's whether LeBron's legacy can handle what happens when he finally lays everything out. Because Kyrie's viral comments weren't just him venting about his time next to LeBron. They felt like the first shot of a much bigger story coming. For years, the system around LeBron has run smooth, controlling headlines, shaping narratives, shifting blame onto teammates when things went wrong, and letting hardcore fans swarm anyone who dared to challenge the storyline. It's been polished, calculated, and powerful. But Kyrie's promise cracks that whole shield. And once he starts talking, the entire basketball world is going to be glued in. He doesn't need a documentary, a PR team, or a director. He shook the system just by being honest for the first time in a long time. The same guy who hit the shot that carried Cleveland to glory is now hinting he might shatter the storyline that protected LeBron for years. And based on everything we've seen, the coordinated hate, the non-stop attempts to tear him down, the way people try to erase his role, it's clear LeBron's circle understands exactly how dangerous Kyrie's truth might be. The clock is officially ticking now. Kyrie said he'll open up once he retires, and that's only a few years away. And when he finally lays everything on the table, the stuff that never made it to cameras, the conversations behind closed doors, the tension, the politics, LeBron's carefully polished legacy might not be ready for what comes out. Because the truth hits way harder when it comes from the person who lived through the whole thing. Kyrie didn't guess. He lived it, step by step, moment by moment, season by season. And when someone like that finally speaks, the shockwave is real. If this breakdown opened your eyes to what really went down between two of the most talked about teammates in NBA history, make sure you smash that SpillFame subscribe button, drop a comment, hit like, share this video, and I'll see you on the next one.